What's up, guys? Chef Plum back with Plum Love Foods, and today we're outside grilling. It's a beautiful day. We're getting close to summertime around here, so I'm super excited about it. Today I'm making something called a barbecue cube steak. Now, I wasn't too sure about making cube steak, but it's going to be delicious. What it is normally it's a tougher piece of meat. For instance, today we're using an eye round, and they pound it out, and they use what's called a tenderizer to make little tiny marks in it and cubes in it. I'll show you when we get a little closer over to it. And what it does is it makes the steak more tender. We're gonna pop it on the grill, we're gonna slap it up in barbecue sauce, and then we're gonna chow down. I'm looking forward to showing you about it. Check it out. Here's our eye round. You can see how it's got that funny little markings in there? You can see that? That's where they tenderize it and pound it out. It's a tough piece of meat. A little barbecue sauce, salt and pepper, couldn't be easier. Gonna make you a rock star. So we got our grill going. It's nice and hot, as you can see. You always want to start with a hot grill. Don't ever start with a cold grill. Give it a little bit of time to get hot. Go inside, crack a beer. Let the grill get hot after you light it. Now, here's our eye round. We got to make sure we season our food, folks. So we're going to take a little pinch of salt, put it on there nicely, flip it over. Don't just season on one side. It has two sides. Put salt on both sides. And then we're going to add a little black pepper once we get it on the grill. So just pop it right down. Not sure if you can hear that, but that's a sign of a hot grill. Add a little black pepper to it. Again, I can't emphasize enough to season your food, guys. If you don't season your food, you might as well not even be paying attention. The most important thing you could possibly do to your food, especially on a grill, is to season it up nicely. Now, this is a nice and thin piece of meat. When they're nice and thin like that, you don't want to overcook them, so it's going to cook relatively quickly. So let's take a little bit of our barbecue sauce and just sprinkle it on top like that. Again, you could use a brush on it, but instead I'm going to put it on and just spread it out with my spatula a little bit. That sauce is going to get in between all those nice and little cracks that are inside this piece of meat. It's going to add a lot of nice sweetness and juiciness to it. These steaks also make a great steak sandwich. You know, it's late at night, you're coming home from work, you had to work late, you had a meeting, maybe you had to pick the kids up from the basketball game, you have nothing for dinner. Instead of going out, grab a couple of cube steaks out the freezer, pop them on the grill, put some barbecue sauce on them, and throw it on some bread. Super simple. Hit it with some potatoes or rice or even some grilled vegetables at the same time. A lot of times my wife and I will slice vegetables up and put whatever protein, fish, steak, and our vegetables on top of the grill and just cook it all together. So when you have a piece of steak like this, flip it once. Don't flip it a whole bunch because it's so thin, it cooks so quickly. We just flipped ours. Let it cook for about another 30 seconds or so. It doesn't take a long time. You're basically going to do about 70% on one side, 30% on the other. You know, there's a lot of different methods of doing it, but when I do a thin piece of meat, that's how I like to do it because it ensures that the meat doesn't get overcooked. So we flipped it, we're pulling it off the grill. You can see it almost kind of looks like a little burger patty. We're going to put it right on a plate, just like that. Maybe if you have a little leftover sauce, you put the little sauce on the plate with it. And I always tend to finish it off with some greens. It's that easy, guys. At the barbecue cube steak. A cube steak is one of the cheapest pieces of meat you can get from your grocery store. Go to the butcher shop and talk to the guy. Say, hey, can I get a cube steak? They love making them. It's easy for them to make, and it gets rid of a piece of meat that might be a little tough, but you can still pop it on the grill. Make sure you season it with salt and pepper, put a little sauce on it, and you can be a rock star for dinner. I'm Chef Plum with Plum Love Foods. Thanks for checking it out, and we're going to grill some more meats because I need more meat. See you later.